everyone, this is Tucker from Delta Drive Designs. I'm bringing you a new episode titled How to Not Lift a 4-Door FC Cab. So here I am. It's a beautiful spring Saturday and in Colorado, and we've been badly needing these. We've had a very long winter in Colorado. So here we are. It's finally warm. Try to get some stuff done. But so a couple weeks ago, I'm chilling back here in the back of the FC, as you can tell, and I'm looking at the carnage that I have to deal with, which is quite severe, as I've demonstrated in the previous videos on the triage. So I'm looking at all the rust, like, how am I going to do this? Like, what's the best approach? And then I see that. I don't know if you can see it with the wide angle lens. This side might be a little better, but it is a clear kink or distortion in the top rail of the cab. If this one's any better, hopefully you can see that. Ultimately, what it is right, I think right here, it kinks inward. So, okay, how in the world did that happen? And it's like, okay, well, maybe this explains some other stuff. And this, I'm going back thinking, get out of here. This door has never closed right. It's always been super low right here, and I've always assumed that it was just the hinge misadjusted or rusted, and you know, there's some decay in there, so maybe that was explaining it. Digging a little further, if you look down the drip rail, it becomes very obvious what is going on here. So hopefully you can see that. Yeah, looking down, it clearly dives right in that area, which corresponds to where that kink is. Yeah, hopefully you can see. I'll get a couple more shots of it, which, you know, again explains, like, the door seems to be in the right position, but the back corner of the cab is pulled up a good inch. Okay, all right, well, let's go to the other side real quick. And it's not as bad, but it's still, there's still a little prevalent rise in the back corner of the cab. So what I can figure is the previous owner, there's either two options that happen here. A, they tried to lift the cab. I'm gonna start it other way. They tried to lift the cab by slinging all four corners of the cab. You know, pull the doors off or roll the windows down and sling these corners, and then, you know, get a cherry picker, A-frame, something, tree, barn, whatever, you name it, and lift it via the four corners, which on a fully intact, a fully reinforced cab is probably fine. But on a cab that's missing, like, its rocker panels, like all of the structure on the bottom of the cab, that puts all of that force on those two rails on the top of the cab. I mean, this is the only member I found on this cab that runs front to back. So it means this is carrying, up here, this is carrying the full load of lifting the cab. So that's likely what happened. And then what could have exacerbated it is perhaps they didn't remove the three, I think there's 8 bolts, either 6 or 8 bolts that hold the cab down, and they could have missed 2 in the middle. So when they were lifting, they actually distorted the cab. I don't think that's what happened. I really think it was just, you know, this cab is so heavy and so long. I mean, our estimates are about 600 pounds for the cab weight, and, you know, over 6 feet, 5 feet, you know, it's prone to sag right here. Now, if this was just a 2-door, you know, it wouldn't be a problem, because you'd be lifting like right here and right here, like, that's perfectly fine. But a 4-door, I mean, it's literally just 2 cabs welded together with nothing. There's nothing on the bottom that runs front to back. Like, I mean, there's this piece right here, but it only extends up to the fender, which does roughly correspond to where the damage is in the upper. So again, there's nothing on the bottom. So even, I mean, even if you did have a fully intact cab, I probably wouldn't lift it from the front, the 4 corners, because you may end up causing this damage, and, you know, that's going to be super hard to fix. I mean, easier for me since I'm gonna have to like cut it all apart, but if you have like a good shaped cab, that would be a sad day to cause that damage. So, you know, what am I gonna do to fix it? So I now know the problem. It's not the door hang, it's the actual top piece of the cab. So to fix this, I'm gonna try to re-lift it in an inappropriate manner such that I cause the back corners to sag. So essentially my plan is, you know, and I haven't implemented it yet, so we'll see how it changes, but it essentially, you know, frame in, you know, wood frame in the inside of the doors, you know, run like a 2x4, 2x6 all the way front to back, and then, you know, frame in the inner parts of the door frame so that I'm lifting on the door frames themselves and spreading that force as much as possible across the whole like 2x6 that runs front to back. And that would be like the correct way to do it. You know, run a 2x6, like I said, frame it up against the rails so that you're spreading the weight. And so I'll do that, but I'll likely shim it such that I'm lifting, all my weight will be probably in the center. So I'll be, you know, I'll have that frame up, but then I'll space it so that when I lift, essentially lift up right in the middle, and it allows this back portion over here, the back corner, to sag, and hopefully, you know, pull that, oh yeah, you can see that kink really good from this direction, but hopefully allow this back to sag. Now if that doesn't work, yeah, I'll probably have to just cut it apart, you know, cut the roof off like I'm gonna have to anyways, and then, you know, flip it upside down and put it on a straightening jig of some sort and get that straight, and then start rebuilding from there. Yeah, because essentially I want the roof completely flat, and then I'll use that to set all my distances to rebuild the floor, since, you know, I have no floor. It's just a piece of rust floating. So that's the plan, and that's how not to lift a cab. Do not sling it. Try to support it. You know, there's a bunch of ways to skin that cat, but I really think on a 4-door, like, you should not sling the front and back corners. There's just not enough structure from front to back to keep it from distorting. I mean, yeah, I mean, it could be because this is rusted. I mean, I imagine this damage happened later in its life, but why risk it? There's only so many of these left. Take your time, build the frame, lift it right, and you don't have to worry about it. But so now, hopefully you all learn a lesson from this, and you'll do it all right the next time if you come along a 4-door that you want to fix. All right, well, thanks for watching, everyone. Next video I'll be putting out, I'm actually going to start stripping this cab, so stay tuned. I'm going to get the doors off, try to get the bed off, get fenders off, all the accessories off, because I'd like to get this thing, you know, apart so I can start getting the motor mocked up. So stay tuned. Next video, taking the doors off. Thanks for watching.